The average solo GP is dead. Being handcuffed to a practice that only makes money while you're drilling crushes your freedom. Being trapped at the office is no way to experience life. And doing more fillings and crowns ain't the answer to freedom. Stop it. Freedom comes when your practice makes money without you. Freedom is choosing how many days and how you dental. Ready to forge your freedom? Then keep listening to become a super GP and super CEO. This is the Titanium Practice Podcast with your host, Dr. Stephen Freeman. Let's go.
Hello, all you beautiful people, and welcome back to yet another amazing episode of the Titanium Practice Podcast. I am your host and personal freedom coach, Dr. Stephen Freeman. How y'all doing today? Hope everyone is having a great time. Hope you guys are learning a lot of things from the Titanium Practice Podcast, because today we're going to do a little bit of marketing. And the first thing that I'm going to tell you about marketing is that I don't want you spending any more money on marketing until you do this. Okay? I would probably even go further to say I don't want you spending any more marketing until you have achieved freedom. Okay? So that you can focus on this and make sure you're not wasting any money. But we need to start sowing those seeds, planting the thought about what it is that you will be marketing toward. Okay? And so I am going to start by telling you that you cannot do any kind of effective marketing, particularly external marketing, until you have discovered who your avatar is. No, I am not talking about those blue monkeys from Dances with Wolves. I am talking about who is your ideal customer. You have to know who your ideal customer is before you start sending a message out to the world, or you don't know who you're sending your message to. A lot of things in my office are done because I have designed who my ideal customer is. Okay? My ideal customer is named Rachel. She's 42 years old, and she has 3 kids, and she's married. She has a 6-figure income, and I know lots of Rachels. I know lots of them. I want to know how they think, what do they do, what do they spend their money on, what are they worried about? All of those things. So a simple little thing in my office that I do for my avatar is the music in my office is music that I think Rachel will like. The music in the office is not to entertain you. It is to entertain your patients. It's an important thing. You should be thinking about what does your avatar want to listen to. Now, most of the Rachels I know grew up in the 80s. So I play lots of 80s music on the music in my office. You may hate it. Don't care. Rachel loves it. Nostalgia. Think about what's selling right now. What is selling bigly at this moment? And the answer is nostalgia. It's so huge. You got your Game Boys going for thousands of dollars if you've got them. Old Zelda games going for thousands of dollars if you can find them. Anything you can do. I mean, like, think about it. Like, I know it was now like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, but when Top Gun 2 came out, it was the biggest movie in years. Years. Because, well, it was a great story, first off, which, I mean, don't get me started on the movies that are coming out of Hollywood right at the moment, because, my God, not great stories happening right at the moment, and then they wonder what, happened. Why don't people go back to the theaters? It's not because they're afraid of getting COVID, it's because your movies suck. That's the biggest problem. I mean, Marvel's, and you can make fun of me because I was never a comic book guy, but the Marvel series that ran through Endgame, I thought they were amazing. It was one of the greatest things to ever accomplish, the fact that they got 20 some odd movies with almost all the same actors who were asking for gigantic fees to appear in their movies. The fact that they were able to do this over the course of a decade and put out this amazing, nothing's ever been done like that. And again, I didn't grow up liking comics, but they made fantastic movies. Those movies suck now. And they try to tell us now the fact that it's because of too much has been put out, because now they got shows on Disney Plus, and then, no one can follow. I mean, there is no coherence to those movies anymore. Before, they had a plan, and they attacked that plan, and they delivered that plan perfectly. Which, God, that's a whole nother podcast for you. What happened when they had cohesion and a plan? What happened? One of the greatest cinematic experiences you can possibly have, spanning the course of a decade, occurred. It was incredible. Each movie, how many billions is that movie going to bring in? That's what they had. They had this amazing thing that they could literally write a check for $1 billion, and they knew that they would have it. It's incredible. They had this cohesive thought line. And it seems like the same idiots that took over Star Wars, which I was a gigantic Star Wars fan, and that trilogy sequel they put out, they had a different director for each one. They fired one of the directors along the way. They knew it was going to be 3 movies, but they didn't. The whole thing should have been written as one big, long movie chopped up into 3 parts. How fucking hard is that? It's not. Instead, you delivered that crap? Oh my gosh. It's terrible. So now those same idiots seem to be in control of Marvel's. End rant. Another interesting thing about Disney is, speaking of Avatar, I lived in Orlando, or around Orlando, by the time that the Avatar land opened at Disney World. And it was crazy because when they opened it, a lot of people were like, well, why are you doing Avatar? Well, they also knew that they were going to be acquiring Fox, and they knew that they were going to, be doing 1 million more movies after it. The backup to get into the park was hours. Like, it took hours to get off the interstate, I-4. It took forever to get off the interstate. And then it took hours to get into the actual park. And then it took hours to get into the actual Avatar land. People who first started took almost 12 hours from the interstate to get onto a ride. Woo! Good job by them. Apparently they knew what the audience wanted, so they knew what their customer was looking for. So what's your avatar? Who are you trying to attract? What is it that they like? You gotta be specific. You gotta get down to the nitty-gritty of who this person is that you're trying to pull into your office. It's not everybody with teeth or everybody without teeth. That's not who you're trying to attract. Because there are plenty of people with teeth out there that I want nothing to do with. Do they end up wandering through the doors and we end up seeing them in the office? Yeah, we do. But you need to be thinking about, what is your ideal? Think about in dental school. You had to prep a tooth, a plastic tooth, to an ideal dimensions, like 2 millimeters by, make it like a 2 millimeter by 2 millimeter box. That's what I want you to prep for me. And you have never done that again. Once you've gotten out of dental school, you have never prepped that ideal prep again. And it makes me think of, like, aside from the board exam where you said, after preparing the ideal preparation, carry is extended to the, and you send off for a revision. And for those of you who don't even have to take board exams anymore, God love you. Congratulations, that's awesome. I just missed that boat. That would have been great to not have to take those board exams. But like, you do the ideal first. So they trained you to the ideal so that you knew what you were shooting for, but in reality, you're never going to come up with that. So that when you screw up, you've got some wiggle room. That's the point of the ideal, and then also trying to teach you precision. Okay? So what you're trying to do is shoot for your ideal patient, because you're always going to have that bell-shaped curve, but we want the majority of those people in the bell-shaped curve to be your ideal patient. You're always going to have some on either side of it. people you really hate coming into your practice, and then people, man, they weren't what I was expecting, but I love them maybe even more than my ideal patient. How do I get more of those? And so maybe that even changes over time, and that is okay. Your practice is going to change. It's going to evolve. That's the whole reason you're listening to me. It's going to change what you want to do over time. I had a teeny tiny practice. Now I have a really, really big practice. Same career. Same thing. You know? So it's going to change what you're looking for. So what's your ideal patient's name? I could probably think some people want to attract men. Okay, awesome. So make it a dude. Some people want to attract women. That's what I wanted. Because I've got multiple specialists in my office. So around that 42, what I started to think is that you're going to find a decent, not a huge, but a decent amount of periodontal disease in the actual mom and husband. You're going to find her, and I said with 3 kids. So that's my ideal patient. I want her to have 3 kids because I've got a pedodontist. And I want her bringing her kids along. And ideally, the age of the first one is 12. So I just back it out. 12, 10, 8. Those are literally the ages that I want of those 3 kids. Because I want the first one that she's bringing to me to need ortho. And then 2 years later, the second one's going to need ortho. And then 2 years after that, the third one's going to need ortho. Oh, look like that. Look at that. It's now been 4 years. That first one now needs their wisdom teeth taken out. Cool. 2 years later, another one needs wisdom teeth taken out. 2 years later, another one needs wisdom teeth taken out. That is why that is my ideal patient. You will find lots of 40-somethings missing teeth. They need implants. So you got perio, you got implants. You've got probably a mom, possibly a man, having an issue with how do I look now? I've crossed my 40s. I'm into my 40s. How do I look? Do I look as young as I think I should look? I've got some extra cash. I've always hated how this tooth or my teeth look. Maybe it's time for me to get some Invisalign. Maybe it's time for me to get some veneers. All right, great. Let's do some veneers. Let's do Invisalign. Let's do braces. What can we do along with some whitening and some Invisalign and something like that to get you moving in the direction that you want to go so that you can feel more confident about yourself. Make yourself not feel as old, because that starts to creep up on you. That starts to sit in the back of your head, and it's something that's easy to fix. So that's, for me, why my ideal patient is a 42-year-old woman who has 3 kids and is married. She's got some money. That would be my ideal client. And so I do things that I think are going to make her happy while she's in the office. I play music that she likes, or generally thinking that she's going to like. This will give her a warm feeling in the office. It will make her like this office more. Oh, I haven't heard that song in a long time, and I remember hearing it as a kid. So like for me, I went roller skating not long ago, and they were like spinning 80s music, and I was like, oh, I am in my zone. This is my childhood right here. And I made a fool of myself, and it was great. It was great. I loved it. I want to go back. How cool is that? Now, it's tough to make people want to go back to the dental office, but it's possible. You can make it better. What is the decor in your office? Who is it designed for? Have you not touched it in 20 years? Did you design it to look masculine because you like it? I mean, good for you if you did. I'm glad if you made it something that you want. Are you really going after the patient, though? Who is it designed for? Who's it designed for? So some of you out there that are thinking about building a building right now or opening an office, who are you designing the office for? You're certainly welcome to do it for yourself, because I mean to tell you, if I ever do another office, if I ever get back into it, because I've been doing a little bit more dentistry recently. I've been doing a couple more implants. just kind of pick it up. We're busy, got to get it done. Don't have enough time to get it all done, so I've done a little more implants. And I thought, it's fun. There's fun. I enjoy placing implants. I do not enjoy doing general dentistry, but I enjoy placing implants. It's a good time. I'd still rather be at home with my family and doing things, but it's still fun to do. You make a couple quick bucks and away we go. And I thought to myself, if I ever opened another office, for me personally, I've done the gambit. I've done small, medium, large offices. I've had multiple locations. I've done pretty much what you can do. And I was just like, it'd be cool to just have like a neat, like almost designed like after of like a cigar bar thing. And it was designed for me. It was for my aesthetics. But that's totally different. That's like a whole nother chapter. It'd be like my third or fourth chapter of my career. Of what I would do is I would design it for myself and just make it this cool like hangout place. And it wouldn't have music on for Rachel. It would have music on for me. It would all be all about me, okay? But that's a whole different place in my life, a whole different place than most likely where most of you are practicing right now. And if that gives you great joy, that's awesome. But what I'm trying to do is to get you some freedom, and the freedom comes when you're delivering wow for the patient. And you do that by designing the office to wow the patient, not to wow yourself or stroke your ego. I'm not against ego stroking. I'll be the first in line for that. All right? But what is best for your practice in your current situation? All right? So, what is the aesthetic decor of your office? So mine looks like a farmhouse. The farmhouse chic Joanna Gaines craze that has swept this country. That is what 42-year-old women in my area like. They love it. And if you don't know who Joanna Gaines is, I encourage you to look her up, but I'm betting you do. Okay? They love her. All right? But you should know as much about your patient as you possibly can. Your internal marketing that you do. So we give a prize away, and it rotates and changes depending on what it is that we're actually trying to accomplish that month. Like, are we trying to sell more whitening, Invisalign, maybe talking about reviews and things like that. We'll get some comments on Facebook. That's a whole nother topic of conversation. What is it that we're trying to achieve? But our giveaway is always geared towards what does 42-year-old Rachel want? Like, that's what I'm trying to attract. Because guess what? There's probably some dude that's going to walk in and be like, I don't want this exfoliating bath gel, scrubby dealy things that we're giving away. But guess what? He's probably got a wife. Wouldn't it be nice to be like, here you go. Here's something I want at the office. But what we're trying to do is we're trying to get Rachel to comment somewhere, to refer us to one of her friends, because most likely 42-year-old Rachel with a bunch of kids probably has a best friend who's probably 42 and she's got kids. So you create that conversation, you open that door. So those are the people you really want to entice to refer to you too. Some people get into that whole referral thing of maybe giving out like a movie card or something like that when you hear about some of the referrals. We focus primarily on doing that to our ideal patient. We don't do it to everybody. We appreciate referrals. I really do. But where I want to focus my time and energy on is bringing my ideal patient in. That's it. So everybody wants to treat everybody exactly the same when they come in, but there are more valuable patients in your office. There are. Some of them you like better. God, some of them you just want to just drop kick out the door. Please go to any other office other than mine. One of my favorites is to get a patient pissed and say like, oh, I guess you don't want your money. Good Lord, no, I don't. In fact, I will pay you to please go away. And I know you all have them and you're all thinking the exact same thing, is that you know exactly who those patients are. My God, they ruin your day. You see their name pop up on the schedule and you're like, I don't want you here. Please go away. Go far, far, far away. But what if you can fill your practice with more of what you would consider an ideal patient? And you may not have the demographics in order to do your ideal patient. Does that mean you need to open a new office? Possibly. Maybe you just need to be more intentional about getting that ideal patient. I guarantee all of you need to be more intentional about getting that ideal patient, because have you ever actually been sat down to say, who is my ideal patient? Probably not. It's going to be my guess. You're going to say anybody with a credit card, anybody with teeth, anybody who's willing to get money done. No, it's not this freaking shotgun approach. You need to think a little bit more like a sniper, saying, I want that one, I want that one, I want that one, not just killing the horde of zombies walking towards your door. Okay? So think about those things. What's the decor? What does it smell like in your office? Does it smell like what your ideal client would want it to smell like? Does it smell like a dental office? I mean, fortunately, that's getting less and less common, but that's still a thing out there. Do you think Rachel wants it to smell like a dental office when she walks in, or do you think she wants it to smell like home-baked cookies? Do you think she wants it to smell nice? Like nice fragrances. So we've got fragrance plugs everywhere. Everywhere. It's part of our marketing. It's part of our marketing. So we want it to smell good in the office. So we have the aesthetics. We want it to look good. Do you clean? Here's another one for you. Here's a titanium nugget for you right here. Keep your bathrooms clean. Make your bathrooms look good. Have someone in charge of checking those suckers every half hour. You know why? Because people don't know what a clean dental office looks like. They don't know. They know what a dirty bathroom looks like. They know what a dirty bathroom looks like. Do you have lots of toilet paper in there? Do you have feminine products in there? Do you have maybe some lotion for them to use? Rachel likes to moisturize. And they go through, you'll be amazed, they go through that stuff. They love it. They think it's great. What is your soap? What's your soap you got in there? Do you have some frickin' industrial hand cleaner, or do you have some foaming fragrance soap so that when Rachel washes her hand, it smells good? It's a treat, because where do you go that's got fragrance soap? Nowhere. You don't go anywhere that's got that. And it costs a couple of extra bucks. Do I believe that I have gotten at least one referral, and that one referral has paid for all of the extra costs it'll cost me to put lotions and hand soap that smells good in there? Do I think I paid for it with that one patient? I damn well do believe that. But that's what Rachel would prefer. Now, keep in mind, I keep saying Rachel. Your ideal customer may not be Rachel. That's fine. The point of this podcast, though, is you need to be thinking about, who is your ideal patient? Who do you want coming into your practice? Because if you don't know who it is that you want coming into your practice, and no, you do not want everybody with teeth walking into your practice, then you're going to get whatever the universe throws through your front door. And it ain't pretty. And it will make it harder for you to get to your freedom. Everything you do in your office should be intentional. And these things are harder to think about, and they're harder to do if you're sitting there grinding on teeth. When you're grinding on teeth, that is tough work. It's exhausting. My dad, when he was an oral surgeon, I used to say, why are you so tired when he came home? I said, all you did was sit in a chair all day long. Holy shit. What an ignorant statement that was. He liked to remind me that I made that comment often. Like when I was busy grinding teeth, he'd be like, why are you tired, son? Sit in a chair all day long, you shouldn't be tired. And it's so much more than that. You know it's more than that. I mean, think, how many friggin' hats do you wear every single day? You're the dentist. You're a boss. You're a marketer. You're the certified financial planner for your office. Are you the orderer? Good God, please don't be ordering the supplies for your office. Please don't. You're a psychologist. I mean, between the mental problems that everyone's got, but that your patients bring to you because they're scared. God, I placed an implant on a lady not too long ago, and I numbed her and did the same things that I always did, and she kept doing that thing where she like inches her butt down to the seat away from me, and I'm like, does it hurt? I stopped several times to ask her if it hurt. And she's like, no, I just keep expecting it to. And so I had to coach her through, stop it, please stop doing what you're doing and making my life harder. And that just is mentally taxing on you. So then it makes it so much more difficult to sit there and say, I don't care what my avatar is right now. I just want to sit here and scroll through the feeds on my phone and chill out for a minute so I don't have to deal with that lady again. It's tough, but that's why I'm trying to help you get to freedom so that you've got time to focus on these things. But I at least wanted to plant that seed in your mind about what it is that you need to start your marketing with. You don't just start marketing for the hell of it to bring in whatever will come in. Start marketing your ideal client. Okay? Think about your avatar. Write it down. Write down a name. Picture that person in your mind. Age, all of that stuff. What do you think they like to listen to? What do they like to eat? Because those would be great gift cards then. Okay? All of those things are important. Create as a detailed list as possible of who you think your ideal patient is. Name them. Kids, married, not married, rich, poor, whatever it is, I do not care. And you're certainly welcome to steal mine. But somebody else might be wanting to focus on implants more, in which case you're probably thinking about 55-year-old Betty instead. I'd encourage it to be a woman, just so you know, because women make almost 85% of all dental and medical appointments that are made. But again, I don't really care what you do. I just think that that's a good idea. Okay? You should probably be attracting women because they are the ones that are going to make appointments in your office. You're certainly welcome to focus on the other 15% though. Okay, so that kind of wraps up our initial marketing discussion. Think about it, then write it down so you've got a picture of who it is that you're trying to attract into your office. Okay? All right. Love talking to you guys. If you want some more help, head on over to the Titanium Practice website, titaniumpractice.com. As always, I am your personal freedom coach, and I love talking to you all and hope that we can talk to you again here shortly. All right? Have a good day. Thanks. Bye.
You've been listening to the Titanium Practice Podcast with your host, Dr. Stephen Freeman. Please hit the like and subscribe button and follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at Titanium Practice. Questions or comments? Send an email to info@titaniumpractice.com. Join us next time to help turn your average practice into a titanium practice.